Ryan's phone buzzed, dragging her out of her spiraling thoughts. Her heart skipped a beat as she grabbed it, hoping it was Jimin, but when she saw the familiar name Hannah, her stomach dropped. Hannah, did he come home yet? Ryan stared at the message, her fingers trembling as she typed a reply. Almost instantly, a new message came through from Hannah. Ryan, no, not yet. Hannah, see, I told you, husbands get bored once wives become mothers. You have lost your spark, Ryan. That's why he is looking elsewhere. Ryan's breath caught as he glanced at her reflection in the glass, pale, tired, and unfamiliar. The vibrant woman she once was felt distant, replaced by someone worn down by motherhood and sleepless nights. She had given everything for Jim and for their daughter, and now, was this thanks she got? Hannah's word rang in her mind. Impossible to silence. Men will always look for something fresh, Ryan. Once you are no longer the center of their world, they will find someone else who is. Was it true? Had she lost her spark? Her whispered question broke the silence. Why, Jimin? Why would you do this to me? Tears spilled at Ryan stared at the photo Hannah had sent, a picture of Jimin laughing with a beautiful woman at a restaurant, a colleague she had told herself at first, clinging to the benefit of the doubt. But the hours of silence, no call, no text, had turned her doubts into a crushing certainty. Ryan glanced at the clock again, biting her lip. Jimin was late, too late now to even apologize. Was she not enough anymore? Was the woman in the photo more important than their family? She whispered, her sobs barely audible over the ticking clock, filled the room as the betrayal she had tried so hard to deny now felt undeniably real. The quiet breaths of her newborn in the bassinet only deepened the ache in Ryan's heart. The night was supposed to be special, her anniversary, a night for her, Jimin, and their daughter. She had prayed he would walk through the door, sweep her into his arms, and make everything right, but he wasn't there. Instead, he was somewhere else, with someone else, sitting alone in the dark. Her hope crumbled with each passing minute, slipping through her fingers like sand. Then the doorbell rang, shattering the silence and pulling her from her spiraling thoughts. Her heart raced as she hurried to open the door. Jimmy stepped inside, his step unsteady, his tie loosened, and the faint smell of alcohol clinging to him. The sight made her heart sink further. Jimin, Ryan, her voice trembled with restrained fury. Jimin, softly, you didn't sleep yet? Ryan, no, I was waiting for you. Her tone was curt, her lips pressed into a tight line. Jimin sighed, a guilt evident on his face. Jimin, I'm sorry I lost track of time because of work. Ryan, bitterly, of course, work is more important. She forced a bitter smile that felt more like a weapon. Jimin flinched. Jimin, it's not like that, Ryan. I was. Ryan, cutting him off. Busy on our anniversary? Great, keep going. Her sarcasm stung as she turned away, heading to the kitchen. Tears threatened to fall, but she blinked them away, reheating the dinner she had prepared hours ago. Jimin's chest tightened at the side. Jimin, softly, Ryan, don't cry. Please, I'm sorry. Ryan spun around, tears glistening in her eyes. Ryan, sorry? Her voice cracked. Ryan, you think a simple sorry can fix this? I wish it could, Jimin, but it doesn't. Not this time. Her trembling words struck him hard. Something about them felt off, rehearsed almost. But he shook the thought away, guilt weighing heavier with each second. But he shook the thoughts away. He sighed and stepped closer, reaching to wrap his arms around her waist. But she moved away quickly, carrying a plate to the dining table. That rejection made something snap inside him. His frustration bubbled to the surface, and he lost control. Jimin, Wan, stop behaving like a grumpy child and at least listen to me. Her head shot up, eyes blazing with anger and pain. Wan, grumpy child, do you even care, Jimin? Do you even know what today is, Mr. Park? Her voice rose, trembling with a mixture of worry and hurt. Jimin blinked, the alcohol fog making it harder to focus. He rubbed his forehead, trying to regain control. Jimin, I know it's our anniversary, and I'm sorry I lost track of time, Ryan. It wasn't intentional. Ryan sarcastically lost track of time on our anniversary. How thoughtful. Her words hit him hard. He ran a hand through his hair, guilt twisting in his chest. His eyes fell on her phone, left carelessly on the counter. The screen was still lit, and an image caught his eyes. Him and Suji, the colleague he had been with earlier this evening. Below it, Hannah's message. Jimin's heart sank as he scrolled through. Hannah's word painted a story, one meant to sow doubt, and Ryan had not defended him. Stung even more, Ryan had not stood up for him, not once. Jimin muttering, Hannah, I knew it. This woman, she will pay for poisoning my wife's mind. His jaw tightened as his mind raced. Jimin, is this really about me being late or something else? Wine's voice softened, but the tension was thick between them. Jimin picked up her phone, showing her the image. She glanced at it, her lips pressing into a thin line before turning away. Jimin, so this is really what's bothering you? Wine, her tears slipping uncontrollably. The tears are a physical reflection of the pain inside her, and he hated being the reason of it. Jimin steps forward, desperate to bridge the gap between them. Jimin, Wine, please let me explain. It was a work thing, nothing more. I didn't mean. His voice softened, but Wine's anger was already bubbling over. Wine, didn't mean to what? Didn't mean to ruin our anniversary? Didn't mean to make me feel like I'm not worth your time? Jimin blinked, confusion clouding his expression. Jimin, Wan, are you seriously blaming me for cheating? It was just work. I was talking to a colleague. It wasn't like that. Frustration laced his voice, making Wan take a step back, her heart racing. Wan, so you are saying it's okay to leave your wife and newborn daughter at home alone on our anniversary just because it was work? Jimin, don't twist my words. You don't know how hard I have been working under pressure at the office just to make sure we have a good future. His anger crept into his tone, and Ryan's shock deepened. Ryan, so now it's my fault. What's about the pressure I am under? I have been holding everything together, taking care of our home and our daughter while you are at work. Or again, choosing tonight to abandon me? Jimin rubbed his forehead, struggling to grasp the situation. Jimin, me abandon you? That's rich coming from you. Do you even hear your words, Ryan? I know I messed up tonight, but don't doubt my love. There's nothing going on between me and her. I'm sorry I wasn't there with you and Ji-yoon, but trust me, I would never hurt you like that. Tears streamed down Ryan's face, and she looked away, her chest tight with emotion. She wanted to believe him, but the fear of losing him was overwhelming. Jimin's anger softened as he moved closer, gently taking her hand. Jimin, Wan, look at me, he demanded, but she kept her gaze down. Jimin, Wan, if you ever loved me, trust me, please look into my eyes. Before he could finish, Wan snapped, her tears-filled eyes meeting his, and that struck his heart. Jimin, Wan, stop crying. You know how much I hate seeing your tears. Now look in my eyes and tell me, when our love became weak, that now you are doubting me. I know I have been distant because of work has been overwhelming, but that doesn't mean I don't care. You're my life, Wan. Do you really think I can cheat on you? Jimin's heart broke as he softly cupped her face. He placed a gentle kiss on her forehead, fully aware of his action now. Jimin, after all these years together, I have never had to say this. Why now? You think I don't care? Do you think I am out there having fun while you are here drowning in stress? When I don't say that, it's just her voice was cold and distant. Jimin, then why are you reacting this way? Do I have to tell you how much I love you? It's only you who can rule my heart, my world, my little sanctuary. She's just my colleague. There's nothing going on, he asked, but she remained silent. Why and then why have you been ignoring me for weeks? Every night it's the same excuse. I'm working late. Do you realize how much you have neglected me? Do you know how hard it is for me to breathe when I don't have you near? And now this picture on our anniversary. Why aren't we together? Instead of enjoying each other, we are here explaining ourselves. It hurts so much. Her voice was a whisper, a mixture of hurt and frustration that had been building for months. Jimin's face twisted with frustration, but he ignored it because the woman in front of him needed him, his attention, his love. Jimin, Wan, please, he's just a colleague, and I haven't been neglecting you. Wan, I have been working. Do you think I want to be stuck at the office? Do you think I am out there having fun while you're home alone? Don't let one photo destroy everything we have built. After everything we've been through, is this how you'll doubt me? Van, what am I supposed to think? Why don't you talk to me anymore? You barely look at me. How am I supposed to know what's going on in your life when you have shut me out? Jimin, shut you out? And what about you? Every time I try to talk, you're too busy or too tired. You have been neglecting us while taking care of our daughter. Did I blame you? Did I say anything when you haven't woken up beside me for months? I even suggested getting a nanny to help, but no, you insisted on doing it all alone because of your trust issues. And now you're accusing me? His voice cracked, stepping back, the pain evident in his eyes. Jimin, isn't it great coming home to a wife who doesn't even trust me? After working to secure our future, after being tired to the bone, I'm accused of something I would never do. It's not me who's late, it's you overthinking, thinking I would cheat on you. While here I am craving a kiss we haven't shared in months. You think I could stoop that low? They stood there, the space between them heavy with unspoken words and unresolved pain, the love they once shared now buried beneath the weight of their frustration and exhaustion. Suddenly, Jimin's phone rang. The sound of the phone broke through the silence. He pulled it from his pocket and glanced at the screen. Jimin, Suji, but why is she calling now? And it was enough to make Wan lose her composure once again. She turned and walked out of the house, stepping into the garden to catch her breath. Jimin watched her, torn between guilt and the need to explain himself, so he walked behind her. He hesitated, emotions swirling inside him. Taking a deep breath, he swiped to answer, desperate to salvage what was left of their night and to prove his innocence. Suji, hello Mr. Park, sorry to bother you at this hour, but I just wanted to let you know my file got approved. I'm not losing my job, all thanks to you. If you hadn't helped me today, I would have been in big trouble. Thank you so much. Suji's cheerful voice rang out, a sharp contrast to the heavy tension in the air. Jimin nodded, a relief washing over him, even if only for a moment. Jimin, I'm glad to hear that you deserved it, he replied, trying to maintain his composure. Vine stood nearby, her confusion deepening as she tried to piece together the conversation, her heart still raced from the earlier confrontation, unsure of where to place her trust. Suji, that's so nice of you. I also wanted to apologize to Mrs. Park for making you late. She must be waiting for you to celebrate your anniversary. Suji's word cut through the stillness. The guilt washed over Ryan, and she couldn't bring herself to speak. Her mind was still reeling from the accusations he had thrown at Jimin just moment before. Jimin, yeah, here she is, he said, glancing over at Ryan. I told her how troubled you were, which is why I helped, and guess what? She said I am a kind man and that we should help each other out, and that your job was more important than our anniversary. We still have many years ahead of us to celebrate. His words hung in the air, and Ryan's expression shifted from confusion to regret. How could she have assumed the worst? How could she have left her insecurities drive her to lash out at him like that? Jimin, here, talk to her. Jimin turned the phone toward Ryan, who felt exposed under the bright screen. Her heart raced, and she took a deep breath, willing herself to smile despite the guilt clawing at her insides. Suji, hello Mrs. Park, happy wedding anniversary, many happy returns of the day. Suji's voice was warm and genuine, but Wan could barely hold herself together. Wan, thank you, Suji. Wan managed the words, her heart aching with the weight of everything that had been said and unsaid. Suji, you know, Mrs. Park, you're so beautiful. Mr. Park was right. He talked about you all day, how kind you are, and how happy you have made his life with your presence. With every word, Ryan felt a knot tighten in her stomach. She had assumed the worst about Jimin when all he had done was to speak so fondly of her to his colleague. Suji, and your lunch is famous in our office. We often bargain with him for it. Suji's light-hearted laugh brought a small, genuine smile to Ryan's lips. Ryan, thank you, Ryan replied softly, feeling a rush of warmth at the unexpected compliment. Suji, anyway, I will let you go back to your celebration. You two deserve it. As the call ended and the screen went dark, a heavy silence settled in the living room. Ryan felt the weight of her earlier accusations linger, unable to meet Jimin's eyes as she glanced down at the floor. Jimin stood across the room, his expression a tumultuous mix of pain and frustration. He crossed his arms, eye narrowing with a mix of hurt and anger. Jimin, do you believe her now, or should I call my boss to clear up your doubts? His voice was steady but laced with pain. In that moment, Wan realized the depth of her mistake. Jimin's love and trust in their marriage were too precious to jeopardize with her unfounded fears. Heart racing, she took a tentative step forward, searching for the right words to mend the rift she had created. Jimin stood still, shaking his head, a mixture of frustration and hurt in his eyes. Jimin, now don't come to me with those puppy eyes, Wine. I'm telling you, I'm not going to fall for it this time. You accused me for something really awful, he said, narrowing his eyes at her, though there was a faint, teasing glimmer in them. Wine's heart sank as she felt the full weight of her mistake. She took a shaky breath, stepping forward, her heart breaking all over again. She knew she had to make it up for him. Her hand clutched the hem of his shirt like a lost child seeking comfort. Jimin sighed, the tension between them palpable. She glanced up at him, her eyes brimming with tears, unable to hold them back any longer. She bumped her forehead against his chest, and the tears spilled freely as her shoulders shook with sobs. The tension in the room was suffocating. Wan wanted to scream, to break down, because her world was unraveling and she didn't know how to stop it. Jimin's expression softened as he felt her trembling against him. He pulled her into his arm, his own chest tightening with the emotion that had been building up. Juan, I'm sorry, I know I messed up, but I just got so scared when I saw the picture. I thought I was going to lose you, she mumbled against his chest, her voice breaking with the weight of her emotions. Jimin, oh, but when it was my turn, you weren't ready to forgive me. She pulled away, slightly looking up at him with tear-filled eyes, her nose red and runny, her cheeks flushed from crying. Juan, I'm sorry, really sorry. I got scared. I thought I wasn't beautiful enough. That's why you were ignoring me. Jimin, seriously, Ryan, how am I supposed to stay mad at you when you look like that? Sobbed harder, almost like a child, and he chuckled softly through his arm, instinctively wrapped around her, pulling her closer. Jimin, you know you really should come with a warning label, emotional disaster ahead. He gently lifted her face, pressing a thumb over her damp cheek, the tenderness in his touch contrasting with the chaos of emotion they both felt. Jimin, but you're lucky I am hopelessly in love with you. Wan's teary gaze met his, and a small, hesitant smile broke through her tears. Wine, so does that mean I'm forgiven? She asked, her voice small, playful despite the lingering sadness. Jimin rolled his eyes dramatically, but the smile tugging at his lip betrayed the teasing tone. Jimin, Ash may be alright just this once, but you owe me a proper conversation after all this puppy-eyed nonsense. And promise me you won't doubt my love again. She nodded eagerly, wiping her eyes as her tear-streaked face broke into a bright, relieved smile. Why, and I promise, I swear, she said, holding her ears, and Jimin let out a heavy sigh. Pretending to be exasperated, he pulled her into a tighter hug, his arms a steady comfort. Jimin, well, I guess I'll just have to keep an eye on you, then he muttered, a grin tugging at his lips. They both laughed, the tension of the past moment melting away as they clung to each other, their laughter filling the space between them. Jimin knew Wan like the back of his hand. She was impulsive, an overthinker, and the thought of losing him made her spiral. The past few months had been a roller coaster in their marriage, filled with ups and downs that had left them both worn out, yet still holding on. It wasn't that Ryan didn't trust him, she trusted him more than she trusted herself, but in that moment, overwhelmed by everything, her insecurities had taken over. Jimin understood that more than anyone. He knew better than to react harshly because he could never bring himself to hurt her. How could he? She had given up her life of comfort, the life of a rich princess, to be with him, the son of her father's secretary. What they had may look like a fairy tale to others, but their love was real, raw, and so deep that sometimes even they struggled to believe it. That's how they loved each other, and that is why, even though all the challenges they faced, Jimin held her close, knowing that just like they always had, they would find their way through this together. Jimin glanced at Ryan, a gentle smile replacing their earlier tension in his eyes. Jimin, Ryan, hmm? Jimin, we still have a bit of time left for our anniversary celebration, he said softly, his voice warm. He gently brushed away her lingering tears, his eyes glowing with affection. Jimin, wait here for a second. He slipped out of her embrace as if suddenly remembering something important. Curious, Ryan followed him outside and saw the car door open. Jimin leaned in and pulled out a large cake box, grinning as he turned back to her. Ryan, what's this? She blinked in surprise. Jimin shook his head, laughing softly. Jimin, well, I got this surprise for my wife, and just when I was about to give it to her, someone distracted me. Ryan's smile faltered slightly, guilt creeping in as she remembered her doubts. Ryan, I'm sorry for everything, she murmured, her voice touched with regret. Jimin gave her a warm smile, leaning down to press a gentle kiss on her forehead before pulling her close. Jimin, come on, let's cut this cake before the time runs out. Wan looked up at him with a playful pout. Wan, why are you so sweet, Jimin? Wyan laughed, a blush coloring her cheeks. Wyan, you still remember that? Jimin, oh, I never forget. He teased, pulling her into his arms and moving with the rhythm of music. In that quiet dance with only the soft glow of candles and the music surrounding them, everything felt right. They weren't perfect, but together they were more than enough. They shared small bites of cake, laughter filling the room, making the moment feel both simple and magical. When Jimmel pulled her closer for their promised dance, they swayed slowly in the living room, letting everything else fade away.